Black Hollow Road is a forgotten stretch of asphalt in northern Pennsylvania, winding through dense forests and old farmland. By day, it looks like any rural road, cracked pavement, leaning wooden signs, the occasional abandoned farmhouse. But those who travel it after sunset say it is anything but ordinary. Locals whisper of a fog that rolls in without warning. It's thick, almost black at its edges, and it clings to vehicles, swallowing them as they drive. Tires leave no tracks, headlights cut only a few feet ahead, then vanish into a gray void. Radio signals die, cell phones drop calls, and the car seems to slow, not from the brakes, but as if the road itself resists motion. The first recorded incident occurred in 1967. A delivery truck carrying milk was reported missing near the old Hollow farm. When authorities arrived, the truck was gone. Not in the ditch, not in the trees, nowhere. The driver, Carl Henson, was never found. Only a faint scent of smoke and damp earth lingered. Witnesses who survived describe a feeling of being watched from the fog itself. Shadows move in ways that defy physics. Sometimes just beyond the headlights, sometimes inside the vehicle, reflected in mirrors. Some people report hearing whispers calling their names, though no one else is near. The fog seems to select its victims. Casual drivers, road trippers, even local residents have vanished. Those who escape often speak of time stretching unnaturally, the miles taking hours to pass, while the clock seems to run normally. In the 1980s, a state patrol officer, Linda Brooks, chased a speeding sedan into Black Hollow Road. She entered the fog, and according to her report, she experienced a sensation of floating. The car's engine roaring, but the vehicle moving almost sideways. When she emerged, the sedan she had been pursuing was nowhere to be seen. Black Hollow Road isn't just a stretch of asphalt. It's a trap, a corridor that tests attention, fear, and luck. By the mid-1990s, Black Hollow Road had become a place of fear. Truckers, local farmers, and occasional travelers shared stories of cars swallowed by fog, of people vanishing without a trace. Emergency services avoided the road after dark unless it was absolutely necessary. In 1996, a family returning from a local festival disappeared. Their station wagon entered the Dead Man's Grove fog, and hours later, search teams found nothing. No skid marks, no overturned trees, nothing. The only clue was the faint smell of damp earth and rubber. The children's favorite blanket was draped on a fence post, untouched by wind or rain. Drivers who survived the fog's peak of a weight pressing against them, a cold presence that seems to distort the air. Roads twist unnaturally, mile markers vanish, and time stretches in ways that defy logic. Some report seeing vehicles from years ago, headlights glowing, moving silently as if frozen in time. Truckers say the fog sometimes coaxes drivers into danger, leading them over ditches, into shallow ponds, or into trees. Yet it is selective. Some pass through unharmed, while others vanish without warning. In 1999, journalist Helen Cortez entered the fog with a cameraman. For 3 miles, visibility was nearly zero. GPS failed. Radios went silent. Shadows appeared beside the road, disappearing when approached. The fog whispered their names for hours, faint and urgent. When they emerged at sunrise, the forest looked altered. Trees bent strangely, the road narrower, distant sounds echoing unnaturally. Helen later said she felt the road had judged her, assessing her fear, caution, and curiosity. Black Hollow Road is no ordinary road. It tests attention, luck, and nerve. Those, it claims, leave no trace behind. By the early 2000s, Black Hollow Road had become legendary among locals and paranormal enthusiasts. Everyone knew someone who had vanished or narrowly escaped. The fog was no longer considered natural. It was deliberate, alive, a predator that chose its victims. In 2004, a group of college friends decided to test the legend. They drove down the road at night, laughing and filming on a handheld camera. At first, everything seemed ordinary: the old barns, leaning signs, and overgrown trees. Then the fog appeared. It swirled and pressed and formed the sides, almost tangible, thick and black. One friend sitting in the back swore he felt a hand on his shoulder, cold, heavy, unmoving yet undeniably present. The headlights bent and stretched unnaturally, illuminating shapes moving in the distance, forms that weren't human, but not entirely shadow either. The car slowed despite no braking, tires spinning against the invisible resistance. Radio static turned into faint whispers, calling names they don't recognize. One of the friends screamed, and in a heartbeat, he was gone, as if the fog had swallowed him mid-breath. The driver swerved in panic. The fog seemed to guide them down narrow ditches, over gnarled roots, and along invisible cliffs. Time itself fractured. Seconds felt like minutes, minutes like hours. When they finally emerged, the road behind them looked untouched, as if the horrors they faced had never existed. Locals insist the fog remembers you, and if you linger, it will claim you. Highway patrols warn against entering Black Hollow Road after dusk, but thrill seekers still try, only to disappear, leaving tires spinning, doors open, belongings untouched. Black Hollow Road is not just a highway. It is a living corridor of fear, a road that swallows travelers whole, leaving only the fog behind.